The next morning, Rose drove to her parents' house, her stomach in knots. She found her mother in the kitchen, surrounded by half-written lists and wilting flowers. "Mom," Rose began, her voice trembling. "I need to talk to you about Saturday." Her mother looked up, her eyes weary but hopeful. "Oh, thank goodness. I knew I could count on you." Rose hesitated, feeling the weight of her mother's expectations. "Mom, I can't help with the party on Saturday. I have an opportunity to showcase my art at a gallery, and it's something I've been working toward for a long time." Her mother's face fell, her voice laced with hurt. "Your art? Rose, this is family. Can't the gallery wait? This party is so important, and we need you." "I know it's important," Rose said gently, her throat tightening. "But so is this. I've spent my whole life putting others first, and now I need to show up for myself." Her mother's eyes filled with tears. "I just don't understand, Rose. This isn't like you." Rose felt her own eyes prickling, but she held firm. "It is like me, Mom. The real me. I love you, and I'll help as much as I can before Saturday, but I can't miss this chance. I hope you can understand." The silence that followed was heavy. Her mother looked away, wiping her tears. "I just didn't expect this from you," she said softly. Rose felt the sting of those words but reminded herself of her progress. "I know. But I hope you'll see that this is what I need to do." She stayed for an hour, helping her mother brainstorm backup options for the caterer and florist. When she left, the tension still hung in the air, but there was also a glimmer of something new: respect. On the day of the gallery showcase, Rose stood before her artwork, nervously adjusting the tags and titles. She glanced at her phone. No texts from her mother, no updates about the party. Did I make the right choice? She wondered, the doubt gnawing at her. But as the event began and visitors admired her work, she felt a wave of pride. For the first time, her dreams weren't on hold, they were alive, vibrant, and within reach. Later that evening, as the gallery began to empty, Rose's phone buzzed. A text from her mother. "I saw the pictures your friend posted. Your art is beautiful, Rose. I'm proud of you." Tears welled up in Rose's eyes. It wasn't a perfect resolution, but it was a step forward. As Rose packed up her things, a gallery curator approached her with a smile. "Your work has received a lot of interest tonight," he said. "Have you considered doing a solo exhibition?" Rose's heart raced. A solo exhibition? Could I really do this? She smiled, her mind already buzzing with possibilities. For the first time in her life, the path ahead felt like her own. The gallery showcase had been just the beginning. In the weeks and months that followed, Rose found herself stepping into a version of life she had never dared to imagine, a life shaped by her own choices, her own dreams, and her own voice. But the journey wasn't without its challenges. Each day was a delicate balance of maintaining her newfound boundaries and resisting the pull of old habits. Yet with every decision she made for herself, Rose felt a weight lift, replaced by a sense of liberation she could hardly put into words. Rose sat on her balcony, a soft breeze brushing against her skin as the city lights glittered in the distance. She cradled a cup of chamomile tea, her journal open on her lap. She flipped through the pages, skimming over the entries she had written during her darkest moments, the guilt, the fear of losing people, the doubt that she could ever change. Her eyes landed on one line she had written after her first real "No, it feels impossible, but maybe that means it's worth it." She smiled to herself. It had been worth it. Rose's transformation wasn't just internal, it reshaped her relationships as well. At a cozy cafe, she sat across from Cynthia, her high school friend. Their laughter filled the air as they shared stories about their evolving lives. "I have to say," Cynthia said, stirring her coffee, "you've changed in the best way, Rose. You seem Free. Rose nodded, feeling the truth of those words. I am. For the first time, I feel like I'm living my life, not someone else's. It wasn't just Cynthia who noticed the change. Her colleague Jordan had become a close ally, and even her family, though still adjusting, had begun to respect her choices. Her mother now called with updates instead of demands, and her father had taken to sending her motivational quotes. One afternoon, Rose walked into a small studio space she had rented using the money she'd saved from saying no to endless favors and overtime. The studio was bare, with paint-speckled floors and walls waiting to be adorned, but to Rose, it was perfect. She set down her supplies, breathing in the smell of fresh canvas and possibility. This was the space where she would build her dream, an art series exploring the themes of freedom, identity, and transformation. The gallery curator's words from the night of her showcase echoed in her mind. Have you considered a solo exhibition? She had hesitated then, unsure if she was ready. But now, as she stood in this studio, she knew the answer. I am ready. One weekend, Rose visited her parents' house. It was quieter now, the anniversary party long behind them, but the house still held memories of her old life. Her mother greeted her warmly, leading her to the living room. On the coffee table sat a framed photo of Rose from the gallery showcase. You put this out? Rose asked, surprised. Her mother nodded, her smile tinged with emotion. I know I didn't understand at first, but I see now how important this is to you. And I'm proud of you, Rose. Tears filled Rose's eyes as she embraced her mother. The approval she had sought her whole life no longer defined her, but hearing those words still meant everything. The final scene opened on Rose standing in front of a group of art lovers at her first solo exhibition. Her paintings hung around the gallery, each one bursting with color and emotion, telling the story of her transformation. As she gave a speech about her journey, she noticed familiar faces in the crowd: Cynthia, Jordan, her parents, and even her former boss, Mr. Carver, who had grudgingly admitted he respected her decision to set boundaries. The lights dimmed, and the audience hushed. Rose stood on a small stage, a spotlight casting a warm glow around her. She gripped the microphone with steady hands, her heart beating not with nerves but with anticipation. This was her moment, not just to celebrate her journey, but to share the lessons she had learned. Not long ago, I lived a life that wasn't my own, Rose began, her voice clear and resonant. I was the person everyone could count on, except me. I said yes to everything, because I thought my worth was tied to how much I gave to others. But I was wrong. She paused, scanning the faces in the room. Some nodded in quiet understanding, others leaned forward, hanging on her words. I've learned that living authentically isn't about rejecting the people you care about. It's about embracing yourself, your dreams, your boundaries, your truth. And it's not selfish to do that. A ripple of applause spread through the crowd. Rose continued, recounting key moments of her transformation. The first time she said no and how liberating it felt. The struggle to hold firm as others pushed back against her new boundaries. The incredible joy of discovering who she truly was and what she wanted in life. As I stood up for myself, she said, something amazing happened. The relationships that truly mattered, the ones built on respect and love, they stayed. They grew stronger. And the people who couldn't accept the real me? They drifted away, and that's okay. Her words were met with murmurs of agreement. Every one of you has the strength to choose yourself, Rose said, looking directly into the audience. It's not easy, and it won't happen overnight, but it's worth it. You don't have to wait for a breaking point like I did. You can start small, say no when you mean no, take time for yourself, and trust that you're enough just as you are. A hand shot up in the audience. How did you deal with the guilt? Someone asked. Rose smiled gently. The guilt doesn't disappear right away. But I reminded myself that guilt is just a habit, a voice telling you that you're breaking the rules. The thing is, those rules weren't mine to begin with. I replaced guilt with gratitude, gratitude for the courage to honor my truth. After her talk, Rose mingled with attendees. Many shared their own struggles, seeking advice or simply thanking her for her honesty. One young woman approached hesitantly. "Your story gave me hope," she said. "I've been so scared to set boundaries, but now I think I can try." Rose clasped her hands. "Start with one small step," she said. "And remember, you don't have to do it alone." Later that evening, Rose uploaded a short video to her channel. Sitting in her studio, surrounded by her artwork, she spoke directly to the camera. "I never thought I'd be here, living a life I love and helping others do the same," she said. "But every step I took taught me this: living authentically isn't selfish, it's necessary. When you choose yourself, you inspire others to do the same." Her voice softened. If this resonates with you, don't hesitate to subscribe for more tips on mental wellness, self-development, and living a life true to who you are. Together, we can create a community where everyone feels empowered to bloom in their own light. She smiled warmly at the lens, her voice steady with purpose. Rose sat back, watching the video process. She thought of the countless people still trapped in the cycle she had broken free from, each one yearning to live authentically but afraid to take the first step. Her phone pinged with a new message, a thank you note from someone in the audience. "Your story changed my perspective," it read. "I'm ready to choose me." Rose exhaled deeply, her heart full. The journey was ongoing, not just for her, but for everyone she hoped to reach. She had found her purpose, not just to live her truth, but to guide others toward theirs. The screen of her laptop glowed with a single message: video uploaded successfully. You deserve to live your truth. The world needs the real you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and for being a part of this important conversation about self-discovery, mental wellness, and emotional growth. If you're ready to take control of your mental health, embrace your authenticity, and find the clarity you deserve, Clarity Quest Hub is here for you.